How did you get them to both sit down and do it?
That's the question, right? The film is one thing, but just the fact that the film exists, that these two sat together, is the first question that everyone wants to know, because they're not known as the most friendliest guys to the media to do anything that they don't want to do. So really, it really goes back to Steve Sable, who you guys both knew well, and it's all about history. And both of these guys are not the type. Bill and Bill are not the type to really celebrate their place in history. They have a lot of humility in the moment. They don't want to talk about themselves, but they do very much recognize their place in history. You think about Coach Belichick, he never wants to talk about the current championship. He's thinking about the future, but he recognizes the past, and he understands all of history in the National Football League. And both of them have always had a very strong kinship with Steve Sable and NFL Films. And the more I've thought about it over the years, I've always thought that the Parcels guys and the type of players that Belichick tries to get on his team, they're the type of people that Steve Sable hired and we continue to try to bring into NFL Films, because both Steve Sable, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, they all saw a purity in their art form. For the Bills, it was coaching, and for Steve Sable, it was filmmaking. And the three of them hated the politics. They hated meetings. They didn't want to deal with media. What they wanted to do is just get their art form right and do it to the very best of their abilities and to inspire people around them. And so I think there's always been a kinship between the three of them, and that's lasted to this day. And the company, I think, still represents Steve Sable even though he's gone. So the ask was fairly easy to get them to get together, really to make sure that future generations remember the bond that they had. And, 15 years is a long time in the NFL to work together. Two Hall of Famers like that, it doesn't happen. The closest you get, if you look at Hall of Fame coaches, is probably Paul Brown and Bill Walsh, who worked together for 8 years. And Parcells and Belichick worked together for 15.